Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Matilda, and I'm super glad to be here today. I have a kind of unstable connection, though, so I'm going to just turn off my camera while I present. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so you can see it, right?
Yes, we see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my graduate project is called Nuno Garments, and it's a work within the field of one-piece garment construction and multimorphic design. And this work started with a reporting of 1,100 to 1,400 tons of Swedish wool that each year is being buried down or burnt up as a waste product to Swedish meat industry. This photo you see here was taken at a local farm in Sätila, where I went back in February. And as you can tell, all this wool was just laying there. And from the people working at the farm, I found out more about this problem. So Swedish sheep breeding focuses on the meat industry. And for a majority of Swedish farmers, the wool and the work related to it is an obligation instead of an asset. This kind of wool is basically worthless. And the main reason for this is mainly poor spinnability. The hairs are simply too heavy and not suitable for spinning. So going into this project, I looked at other properties of wool. And one of them, which kind of have a bad reputation, is the shrinkability of wool. Many of us have at some point happened to wash a wool sweater at a high temperature, and we all know what happens. The sweater that usually fits me will now fit my 3-year-old niece. So that's an amazing force wool possesses, and also the force I have formulated this project around. Nuno Garments seeks to explore the force of shrinkage as a concept for creating multimorphic one-piece garment constructions in order to present a novel idea for usage of waste wool. So Nuno felting, which basically is a technique that involves wool put together with an additional fabric. They are stitched together and then processed at a high temperature where the wool will felt and shrink about 50% and contracting this additional fabric into these kinds of structures. So taking this into a constructional 3-dimensional perspective, a double-scaled mannequin was developed. The starting point was then this multi-layered jersey tube. So as you can see in picture number 3, these different color marks here indicates the placement of the wool in the different layers of the tube. The tube is then washed at 90 degrees for 1 hour and will shrink to fit a human body. But the woolen areas will now also be felted, which enables cutting without fraying. And this is where the multimorphic aspect of this work comes in. Multimorphism equals the presence of multiple forms simultaneously, and taking this aspect into fashion design suggests a whole new way of thinking about garment construction. What if garments were constructed from multi-layered tubes where the arms are cut out from the 2 top layers, leaving the 2 bottom layers still there to construct the side panel? So this is the shrunken tube from a side perspective, where wool felted in lines enables this kind of arm construction to be cut out. And this is how it looks on a body. So using shrinkage to enable this multimorphic way of thinking of garment construction is really the core of this project. And throughout, different approaches to it have been explored. Looking at more conventional garment ideas, where the idea of the garment have led the material creation. But also the other way around, looking at the material and letting the material lead to the design. And prints have been explored in relation to this technique. So this work shows how a solid piece of cloth can translate to a garment by the force of shrinkage. It questions the conventional way of constructing garments and presents a novel idea for usage of waste wool. So that was it. Thank you for listening.